So I had the sort of the strange and wonderful opportunity of meeting Geeti Thadani back when I was a graduate student. And she gave me this sort of cache of letters that women had been writing to this organization that she had started called Sakhi since the early 1990s. And this was just the most sort of precious archive I could have imagined. I was so excited by it. Women who responded, who felt a resonance with this word lesbian that on the face of it seems so sort of foreign and abstract and distant, really attached themselves to this concept and knew exactly what it meant, right? And these were women from rural areas, from semi-urban areas, from urban areas, who would find the advertisement for Sakhi in sort of local magazines in all different languages, vernacular and in English. In the ads, they ran the gamut in the wording. Are you a woman who loves other women? Are you like us? Right? There were just all these different phrasings, and regardless of the phrasing, it always managed to sort of attract this kind of recognition. And these letters, another thing that's important about them is that they were sexual and erotic letters. They weren't just about sort of loneliness or about partnership or about just sort of seeking a community of sakhis, right? Of women friends. But I was really intrigued by how much sexuality and longing and erotics were central here. One of the things I then trace is how those desires came up against, in oblique ways, the pressure that an emerging political lesbian community was facing to sort of desexualize itself in order to be more widely acceptable. And so that's a tension that I think about in relationship to those letters. Certainly there were crackdowns at the level of individual households. Often women who wrote in were scared for their lives, right? This wasn't sort of just a casual undertaking to write to Sakhi. You know, some of these women were truly scared about being found out and were adamant that if Sakhi wrote back, to please write back to this friend's address, right? Not to their home where their husband would see it, right? So I don't at all want to make the argument that homophobia and the oppression of same-sex desiring women didn't exist quite a bit everywhere before sort of the emergence of a kind of more public homophobia in the late 1990s around FIRE. But that homophobia was, I suppose you could call it, more privatized, more domesticated, right, than public or national.